Yo,
Let's
yo,
go.
yo. Welcome in, everyone. Our first podcast of the year for our fantasy football league. Sorry, it's taking us a little while. I did not want to give away my draft strategies to these two goobers. So here we go.
Next year.
All right. Well, for those of you who don't know me, I'm Jason Yarnell. I just have been playing a league for a while. I'll lead us on this beautiful podcast adventure today. Up in my left corner, I got Houston Texans, the commish, Mr. Blake Starts.
Yay.
And then the other person joining us today is our beloved friend Kyle Sabin. I don't really know what nickname.
Oh yeah, my team changed. My team name changes often, so
yeah.
Just call me Sabin.
I'll call you Sabin. There you go. Well, boys, we're so glad to have everybody back. There's been a lot of news kind of in everybody's personal lives, so we hope everybody's family is doing well. You guys are enjoying your summer as it winds down, and I'm excited for some football. I know everybody else is too. So let's get this going. We're going to start off with our first segment. It's called Kyle's Corner.
Are you listening? Damn.
Welcome back. As Jason has said, it's been a crazy off season with many moves, and so hopefully you're keeping up with all that. And so for this week one of real news that just happened, I believe this evening, was Austin Ekeler from the LA Chargers. A lot of his stocks were drafted in the first or second round. And so, yeah, this will take a big blow if he truly is out. He got injured with a hamstring injury and was a DNP today. And so kind of looking at everything, there's really, in my personal view, really isn't a pickup here. Last year he did get hurt and there were some running backs that filled in his place. However, because it's the beginning of the season, there's a lot of changes going on there in the LA Chargers. I personally wouldn't spend any sort of attention, if you will, to the two the backup running backs, the Justin Jackson and Joshua Kelly. I think it's going to be a committee. Don't think would be any beneficial to you picking those guys up. So that would be my recommendation.
Thank you, Kyle, for that. Appreciate it. So now we're going to kick it to Blake real quick. We got a couple of league changes this year with payouts, and then we have a fun little spreadsheet that we are going to keep track of this year. So Blake, I'll kind of let you talk about it, and the commissioner. Thank you for the gun show today. I appreciate it.
Welcome. You're welcome. That's just for you.
All right.
The payout. So we upped the ante this year. $75 buy-in. And so that.
Wait. Hold on, Blake.
Uh-oh.
Wouldn't we have to change it to the $75 ballers?
Yes. That is a great point.
Okay. Sorry to kill your momentum.
We're in legal right
commissioner-
now. It's pending. So we're just waiting for legal.
Somebody needs to get on that.
Waiting for the owners to vote.
Yeah.
So pending that change, there were changes in the payouts. With the increased buy-in, we're able to do a $10 weekly high score payout. That was requested heavily. So pretty excited about that. Came across a game called Survivor. So that is going to be every week, starting week one, the low score team gets eliminated. So since there's 12 of us, if you do the math, we end in week 11, and then the final team standing gets $50. Also added a $50 payout to first place in the regular season, so the top seed in the playoffs. Definitely like that one because I'm pretty sure I would have made money in seasons past. And then it increased I think that's it, right? So then it just increased the payouts for first and second to 400 and 185. And then third place is always get your money back. So that's where we're at there. I made minor changes to the rosters. We tried to implement like IR spots for COVID last year, and in my opinion, it just did not work because you still didn't know till last minute. And then if like something happened after a Thursday night game, then you had waivers, and it was just a mess, and it did not work out. It just made less players available on the waiver and free agents. And that's another thing. We took away a bench spot. So we had 7, now we only have 6. So I think last year, like third string running backs were non-existent. Like you had to go fourth string to even find somebody, and that was ridiculous. So hopefully these changes get it back to our prime competitiveness that this league's all about.
Yes, sir. This is a no fun league, only
Right.
All
competitive.
business. All business.
So Blake, I know that about 30 minutes ago, you blew my mind. First time I've ever seen it. The holy grail of, league commissioner-ness, your spreadsheet. Do you have a name for that bad boy?
I should have called it COVID boredom, but I called it the ultimate fantasy spreadsheet. I don't know if we got it. We can pull it up, but I got a bunch of stats in there that I was keeping track of, like each weekly score, keeping track of different stats, average score per position, got historical data like in the playoffs and who won the league. And then I was keeping track of the head-to-head matchups between each team in the league over the years. And that one's pretty fun because, as we were talking about earlier, like you're like, oh, I didn't know I would never beat, Derek, which a lot of
All
people
right,
haven't
Blake.
beat Derek.
Why you gotta call out my team
I
like
mean,
that in front of everybody, bro?
It just came to me.
That's messed up.
But,
Yeah, Blake,
Oh,
amazing tool.
I just wanted to add in. Yeah, I think throughout the season, it's really going to kind of help us understand what's going on with the league. And perhaps you're thinking about a player that you may not play just because you've lost to someone historically. So, yeah, it's going to be really interesting, and I'm excited to see what the numbers say.
Yeah, guys, and our goal for this is we're gonna try to get it out, put one out, facing next week's episode, and then try to keep it updated throughout the year. So, like Blake was saying, good average positions, like what the league is scoring at X position, and then you can also see where your team scores at that position. I think what another point we made is to be kind of interesting to see the championship team, their numbers, So, yeah, looking forward to that. And kind of Blake, thank you for putting that together, man. Killer. Okay, so let's move right in real quick, fast and heavy this week. We're going to picks of the week. So let's start with you. One player you like this week and why?
Well, it may be partially because I'm invested, but my boy Marvin Jones. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to have a little bit of a coming out party against the Texans. Don't know if it'll last from there, but you want Marvin Jones, at least in your flex. Put him in there.
Well, wasn't Marvin Jones hurt starts, Kyle?
He was in the COVID protocol, but he's good to go.
Yeah.
Okay. But he hasn't played that much this preseason, right?
I mean, I saw him make a couple plays.
Yeah, I think it was limited, but I think just the camp reports have really, showcased what he can do, and I think that connection with him and Lawrence is going to be something to look at throughout.
It's going to be electric.
Thank you, Kyle.
Electric. Hey, I'm just giving our listeners, both sides of the
Fair.
aisle here,
Mhm.
just making sure, and you just called out my team against Derek Lifetime. So look out, Blake.
Well,
I'm just
who
kidding.
you got? Who you got week 1?
All right. Well, obviously it's biased because he's on my team, but I also have some good reasoning. My man, take a look behind me.
Oh,
Mr. Melvin Gordon.
let's go.
Mr. Melvin Gordon for the Denver Broncos. Now, I know this is not a popular pick for a lot of people, but my reasonings are such. Against the Giants, Denver's game plan with the Giants cornerbacks are going to be to run the ball. So I'm thinking the Denver Broncos game plan is going to be heavy run. And then we're looking at an improved defense that I think will give Daniel Jones a tough time. Saquon's not coming back, or he's coming back, but we don't really know what we're going to get quite yet. So I just think the cards are on the table for him to do well. If you want me to put numbers on it, I'm going to go 70 yards and a tutty. Those are my numbers for Melvin Gordon this week.
Whoa.
So DFS, pick them up on the cheap.
Yeah, that's pretty bold. Well, we'll see what happens. I do like their matchup against the Giants. I think they are able to control that game. They're going to run more than pass, I believe, this season. So, yeah, I like that pick. So for me, for my start of the week, I kind of viewed it more, kind of took more of my research to the flex. Hopefully to give some encouragement to some fantasy owners to have confidence in this guy. So my pick would be Marquez Callaway. He, for me, I believe is going to, while Michael Thomas is out, I think he's really going to take that number 1 role. Now, this week, he is facing one of the better cornerbacks in the league, Jair Alexander from the Green Bay Packers. But if we know anything from Jameis Winston, he is just going to hyper target his receiver. And I believe that receiver is going to be Callaway. And so don't be shy to put him in your lineups. I think he's going to turn some heads this week.
Bold.
Love it. All right, let's do some quick busts of the week. Blake, who you got?
Well, unfortunately, I got my boy Najee Harris, who is my RB2 at the moment. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, Pittsburgh, their O-line hasn't been good for a long time. I mean, they say it's gotten worse somehow this year. And I just don't know. I mean, Ben just throws, and if he gets in trouble, he throws some more. I just don't think they're much of a running offense. Even with, Le'Veon Bell back in the day, they really just dumped it off a bunch, and that's where he excelled. So I don't know. I mean, if he can fill that kind of a role, maybe, but I think might be a disappointing week 1.
Okay. That's an interesting take because I feel a little bit different. My bust of the week, or not bust, but I guess we'll just have a challenging matchup that I will think they'll underperform their projections, is Chase Claypool. And for reasons that are kind of a little bit opposite, I think. So I kind of did a little digging here. I'm doing a Najee Harris comp. So first, the Steelers have a new OC and Matt Canada, who's been the quarterback's coach for a hot minute for the Steelers. So his words, Ben is going to run the offense like Ben wants to. Okay. So let's look at the weapon in Najee Harris. So I kind of did a comp on Lev Bell's rushing stats in 2017. And he had 1,300 rushing yards and 685 receptions. So not, very good year for him. I'm not saying the Steelers offense is going to do that. But that's just a comp that I kind of feel Najee Harris will fill. And so we kind of look at Ben in 2017, and his passing yards were a little bit above average. But last year, his passing yards were the lowest in his career since 2012. So Big Ben's been a quarterback for a long time. That's the lowest yards he's had. A lot of tutties, but not a lot of yards. So I think the Bills are a good team. They got a lot of good team chemistry, a lot of good young players, and I think they'll perform well. And I think Najee Harris will definitely be a part of the game plan, just being the hyper athlete that he is. So, yeah, those are my reasonings for Claypool kind of underperforming his projections.
Man, that's interesting. I did not expect you both to pick Pittsburgh players. I'm really high on them this year, and even though they have a tough matchup this week, I think there's a lot to be had there. So that's interesting. All right. Well, my pick for this week for being a bust, that's going to be I drafted him in the first round, and I feel kind of bad saying this, but it's Ezekiel Elliott from the Dallas Cowboys. This week, he plays tomorrow, Thursday night, against the Buccaneers. And, with all this reports, through Hard Knocks and and other reports about his old line, I don't feel like he's going to, where I drafted him to perform, I don't think he's going to perform as he should. So I'm tempering expectations there. And just to give a little fact nugget,
Ooh, little nuggets, little tasty treat, little snack.
The Buccaneers last year defense, they allowed only the rushers to allow 3.9 yards per carry. And with this whole line and how good their defense is, it's essentially the same from last year. I just feel like it's just not going to be a fun day for any Dallas Cowboy. And so, yeah, I'm crossing my fingers, but I think he's not going to do as well as you're drafting him to be. So
What's crazy about all of our busts is those games could be shootouts.
that's true.
Right.
So
Yeah, well, we'll be biting our tongues next week.
you're going to want to tune in.
If Zeke, I'll give you this. If Zeke can find a way to perform this week, he's going to go off for the season. Or, if you're an owner that, maybe the Ezekiel Elliott owner gets a little culture shock. Last year he didn't finish good, second year or second contract. Maybe you try to trade for him.
Yeah.
So anyways, that's what to think about with Zeke. Hopefully, I don't know. It's Dallas, so Welch's favorite team. Guys, want to say thank you for joining us this week. My phone has 1%, so we're going to keep this week nice, short, and simple. Everybody have a good week. Good luck in your fantasy matchups. Kyle, Blake, anything you want to say to our beloved listeners here?
Just that, appreciate you coming back this year. And, we got a lot of things in the making that's going to make this podcast even better. So stay tuned.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're looking forward to the season. Like Kyle said, got a lot of things planned, hoping to put some more videos out there a little more consistently. Got some
pillow fights,
cool stuff, pillow fights, the whole nine. So stay tuned.
All right, guys. Take care. Till next week.
Later.